Here's an email from Eric. Glenn Beck is bragging up George Washington right now, and I think Andrew said that he brought us the United States Bank of America's first central bank 20 minutes after the Constitution was signed.
I think it was 20. It might have been 19.
He said, does Glenn Beck have it wrong?
No, Glenn Beck's entitled to his opinion. I put George Washington in the same camp as Alexander Hamilton. He was an agent.
Agent provocateur?
He fought all through the Revolutionary War with Bank of England stock in his portfolio.
Really?
Yes.
George?
He
didn't chop down the territory, or
and
he did?
You can imagine a guy like Thomas Jefferson and Madison standing there waving their arms. What are you doing? Madison said, you've clinched defeat from the jaws of victory. Jefferson was pulling his red hair out. It caused a schism between him and Washington that never healed.
Wow. Just about the money.
Because he knew what Hamilton was, what he was about, who he was representing, where he came from. And so to give him the power of the nation's money, boy, that was the ultimate slap in the young republic's face. And I will never forgive George Washington for that.
What a tragedy that real history is not taught in the schools today.
Yes.
I mean, it really is.
Yes, it is.
It really is.
Yeah. Financial history is a funny thing, but that first Bank of the United States really set the stage for the nation's financial system, and it's why we find us in the place that we're in today.
And England owned the first central bank?
British shareholders.
And they got to create money, right?
Well, they had the power to take. They were a bank of issue. Mm-hmm. See, this is the difference between a bank, a commercial bank, and a bank of issue is a very big difference. When you can issue money, when your note is the money, then you're in charge. And so that was the first central bank of issue.
I'm curious of how the founding fathers and the revolutionary boys and girls of the day allowed that to happen. Did they not know?
Well, they didn't know that Washington was what he was. No.
Wow.
They didn't know that he would just do that. In fact, Jefferson, look at the Constitution. No state shall make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debt. In the Articles of Confederation, there was a phrase that said the Congress should have the power to emit bills of credit, to print its own money. That clause was taken out of the Constitution, even though it was in the Articles of Confederation. So that the idea that the Constitutional Convention, the revolution, was slowed down enough for the banking powers to take power away from the people who had won it, the farmers and the craftsmen who picked up their gun and went and fought behind these people. They were the ones that won the revolution with a little help from the French, but that was taken away from them by the folks that infested the Constitutional Convention. I would urge you to read the constitutional debates, and you'll find the Federalist Papers, and you'll find the answer to who that was.
And I'm just thinking here, Andrew, just saying that the idea that the people listening right now, that their lives are not anymore, they're just as important as these lives that we're talking about now, just as important in their kids and their family and all that. And for us not to know.
All men, all women are created equal. That's what the Constitution and the Bill of Rights tells us.